Elenu on page 520, page 520. And if you'd like to stand, then please do. And if you'd like to just come to attention where you are, then of course, do whatever you feel is most suitable and helpful for your personal worship. Elenu l'shabach l'adon hakol, l'teid kudula liot sebereshit, asher samhokenu l'yahed et shemo, v'gor elenu l'hamlich malchuto. V'anachnu korim, u'mishtachavim, u'modim, Livnei melech mahei hamlehim, Akadosh, 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 Baruch Hu. Shehu noteh shamayim v'yased haaretz, V'moshev yekoro b'shamayim imal, V'shinasuzo, V'gavhei meromim, Hu Eloheinu einod, Emet Malkeinu efesulato, Kakatu b'torato, Gadata hayom b'hashavata, Elevaveha, Ki Adonai hu Elohim, B'shamayim imal, V'al haaretz, Mitachat einot. Trusting in you, eternal God, we hope soon to behold the glory of your might, when false gods will vanish from our hearts and idolatry cease forever. Help us to perfect the world by bringing it under your unchallenged rule, when all will invoke your name, relinquish evil, and turn to you alone. May all who dwell on earth come to know that to you every knee must bend and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you, let them humble themselves, and to your glorious name, let them give honor. Let all submit to your sovereign rule, but that time comes soon and lasts forever. The ultimate sovereignty is yours, and to all eternity you will reign in glory. As it is written, the Eternal One shall reign forever. V'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz. And it has been said, the Eternal God shall rule over all the earth. On that day, the Eternal God shall be one and known to be one. Vayom hahu yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad. We read meditation number 3, which begins with an extract from Middlemarch by George Eliot. To move towards the Kaddish. The growing good of the world is partly dependent on unhistoric acts, and that things are not so ill with you and me as they might have been is half owing to the number who live faithfully a hidden life and rest in unvisited tombs. In this Shabbat, we think of Alf Collis, who his family is still within the first 30 days of his death. And we think of Warren Rolnis, a long-standing member of both Woodford and Bet Tikva, as well as being a member of ELELS, whose ashes were scattered this week. And we also remember, on the occasion of their yacht sites, Michael Mitchell, the father of Alan Mitchell, Joan Jacobs, the mother of Marion Elias, Sidney Waxtow, the father of Judith Conson, Sarah Green, being thought of by a council, Helen Lawrence, the mother of Laurie Benton, Ivan Wolfe, the husband of Bernice Wolfe, Kenneth Cohen, the father of Stephen Cohen, Rose Golder Heller Millard, the sister of Julius Heller, and John Grant, the father of Melvin Grant. We also think of June's cousin, Paul Hassan, as she's put in the chat. And are there any other names that people want to mention out loud or to put into the chat? I'll just give a minute in case anyone wants to unmute. Rad.
The growing good of the world is partly dependent The growing good of the world is partly dependent on and historic acts, and that things are not so ill with you and me as they might have been, is half owing to the number who lived faithfully a hidden life and rest in unvisited tombs. Even when they are gone, the departed are with us. They inspire us to live as in the higher moments they themselves sought to live. We remember them now. They remain in our hearts. They are a continual blessing.
Thank you. And we move on to the Kaddish on page 524. And if you'd like to unmute and join in, then of course, please do. Yit Gedol, V'yit Gedah Shemei Rabbah, V'alma Divrach Yerusei, V'yamlich Malchutei, V'hayehon Uv'yamehon, V'hayedachol Beit Yisrael, V'agalah V'zman Kariv V'imru Amen. Yahei Shemei Rabbah, V'varach L'olam Olamei Almaya. Yitzbarach v'yishtabach, yitzpa'ah v'yitromam v'yitnasei, v'yithadah v'yithalel v'yithalal, shamei l'kudsha b'richu. Ha'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbahata v'nehemata, ta'amiram v'alma v'imru amen. Yehei shalama rabba, min shemaya, ahayemim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'imramav, hu yasei shalom, Elenu v'al kol Israel, v'al kol b'nei Adam, v'imru, Amen. We now come to announcements, so I will hand over to myself. We're able to come off screen share. Are you able to end the screen share, Elliot? Or, thank you. Firstly, thank you, of course, to Mich and Elliott for leading the service, and to Gary for hosting and Effie for streaming. I think we also need to thank you, Effie, for letting your cat join in. And I think in all the innovations we've had since lockdown started, I don't think we've had such a strong reaction or so many terrible jokes to something happening in the service. So maybe that's an innovation we can carry forward. This week, coming up, we've got 11s every day from Monday to Friday. On Monday at 4 o'clock, Judy Berkowitz is leading the puzzler session. And on 7:30 on Wednesday evening, we've got our first in-person only event since March of last year, which is a beekeeping event at Rabbi David's garden. It'll be outdoors, but it's in-person only, but you do need people to book to go there because there's limited space. So do email the office, or I think you can phone Fiona or David directly to book with them. But there's a limit of 20 people. Next Shabbat, it's an 8 o'clock service on the Friday night led by Rabbi Richard. And then at 10:45 on the Saturday, it's a study service led by Rabbi Richards. And it's also multiple festive events going on. It's the admission ceremony for Liz Gardner, and there's likely to be the Ufruf, I think, for Adam and Agnia too. Hopefully a very happy occasion next Shabbat. As we've already alluded to the service, it's also only a month away now till the start of the High Holy Days. So I know there are lots of meetings going on to work out how the services are going to run. I suppose I should start to plug the fact that there's a Salichot service at the very end of this month. I think it's the 28th of August. So that's all that's coming up. And one final thing, I know everyone will be thinking that Mich did such an excellent job in leading the service and learning from the Torah and leading us today that she deserves a certificate. And happily enough, I have one for her, because Mich was the course we have for lay leaders in liberal Judaism, the Balei Tefillah course, and she hasn't had a chance to get her certificate yet, because we should spotlight her to embarrass her if that's possible. She hasn't had a chance to get her certificate yet because of sort of COVID and lockdown restrictions. So I think it's actually a bit of the course to go as a residential session. I'm going to spotlight you because no one else has. I'm going to read the certificate out in the meantime. It says, certificate of graduation. We, the sponsors and tutors of the program, confirm that Mich Sampson has successfully completed the program of study and practice and has been deemed worthy by the rabbi and congregation of East London and Essex Liberal Synagogue to the title of Ba'alat Tefillah. May she always lead prayer with integrity and kavanah, deepening and broadening the experience of worship for her congregation, upholding and enhancing the virtues of liberal Judaism. I don't think anyone can doubt that she's done that today. And that's signed by lots of people. It's signed by Charlie Baginski, the Chief Executive of Liberal Judaism, is signed by your tutors in the course. I can't work out who they are from their signatures, but hopefully you know. And it's signed by Rabbi Richard and myself. So we'll get this in the post to you, but Mazel Tov to you, Mish. Very well deserved.
Thank you very much. That was a lovely surprise. Thank you.
I'm wondering if we should punish you by making you lead the concluding song today. It seems a shame to pass up the opportunity while you're here. Would you? I've got a version I can go with, but if you're happy to lead, it would be better coming from you, I'm sure.
I'm happy to, Ben. Thank you. We're on 525, and we're going to stick with a traditional melody today. Adon olam Hashem alach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'et nasa v'chevzo kol azai melech shemo nigra ve'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimloch nora V'hu haya, v'hu hove, v'hu yihyeh b'tifara. V'hu echad v'ein sheni, lahamshilo lahachbira, b'li reshit, b'li tachlit, v'lo ha'oz, v'hamizrah. V'hu eli, v'chai goli, v'suchev li, b'eit tzara, v'hu nisi, umanos li, menat kosi, b'yom ekra. B'yado avkid ruchi, b'eit yishan, v'aira, V'im ruchi geviyati Adonai li v'lo ira.
Thank you very much, and Mazel Tov's deservedly flooding into you, which is lovely to see. We'll move to a concluding blessing and then Kiddush, the concluding blessing on page 529, blessing number 3. Adonai oz le'mo yiten, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom. Eternal God, grant strength to your people. Eternal God, bless your people with peace. Shabbat shalom, everyone. And I will now remember on this one occasion, so Gary, you're getting quicker and quicker as it goes on. I'm going to give everyone an opportunity now to quickly get a cup of wine and some challah if they have any to hand. And then we will join together for the Kiddush on page 566. But I will give people just a minute to get things from the next room if they need to. Right. Have a very quick look at the cameras. Yeah, almost everyone back now. Perfect. Effie, I was just waiting for you. Wasn't sure if you were tending to the Kiddush or the cat. Perfect. Okay, so we're on page 566. Shamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, לעשות את השבת לדורתם ברית עולם, ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, וביום השביעי שבת וינפש. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, בורא פרי הגפן. אמן. L'chaim. And I'm looking to see if someone has a holler. Fiona does. I thought I could count on you, Fiona. Thank you. I'm going to spotlight you. If you'd like to reach out, then feel free to do so. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Please feel free to unmute now. And thanks once again to Mich and Elliott and to Effie and to Gary.